Hello, 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 and welcome to another Paul McCartney spin-off show called Macca in Your Attic, the show where my guest is always about to show me their junk. Here today, me and the guest are going to go through their attic, sift through the tit and the tat, and find 5 unique, fun, strange, and sentimental items from their McCartney collections, each with their own little story. Today, I am joined by someone I was eager to get on anything again when I had them on Paul or Nothing, and someone I know who is going to have some fantastic finds in his attic for us here today. He is the creator of the John Heaton YouTube channel, and as you may have guessed, his name is John Heaton. John, welcome to Macca in Your Attic. What's going on?
Thank you. Hi, Sam. Yeah, all good here. Budapest. Nice hot weather here. We're enjoying.
That's what I like to hear. It is absolutely disgusting on this. And I think it's always bad weather whenever I have you on. There's a running theme there. But on with the show. When did you first start collecting Beatles ephemera?
Well, my first record was 1978. So I guess ever since then, really, whenever I've come across memorabilia, I've picked it up. Yeah, I mean, continual occupation for the last how many years that is.
What was that first record?
London Town.
London Town. That's a pretty unique one. Yeah.
I think I might have had ABBA Arrival before that. Certainly had the Mullet Kintyre single. Bought that in January of '78. And I was given the name of the game by ABBA as a Christmas '77 single.
Name of the game, yes.
Various we had Womble's records lying around the house as well, but I guess London Town was the one I bought with my own money. I seem to remember.
John, did you have a mobile phone near? Oh, it stopped now. There was a buzzing then. Like, do you have a phone or anything near your microphone?
I'm gonna put it away if I do. So.
Do you have any earphones that might help?
No, I don't. They packed in.
No, that's fine. Right. I'll edit this in seamlessly. Don't worry. Now, without giving away any of your selections, what does it for you? What is your favorite type of thing to collect?
Probably Apple, different versions of the Apple label. I love collecting that. I love collecting autographs, but the problem with autographs is you're never sure whether it's genuine or not. So the ones I'm going to show today are ones which were personally obtained.
Okay.
I know they're genuine. I did buy a few on eBay over the years. I have bought a few on eBay, and I'm not convinced that they're genuine. Like I've got a copy of Fleetwood Mac Tusk signed by all 5, and it's just beautiful to look at, but I'm just not sure if it's not a clever forgery.
No, you need to have that like tested for like traces of cocaine, and then if so, it's probably genuine.
Yeah.
My gosh.
I mean, if these forgeries are forgeries, they're bloody good forgeries. So I'll hand it to the forger, because I've got Mick Fleetwood and Christine McVie's signature in person, and they're remarkably similar. So I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm being too pessimistic.
See, I've never gone for the signatures, mostly because of a price issue, I guess. Because the moment a signature goes on anything, the value skyrockets. I've come across a few vinyl in like vinyl shops where it's like on the wall at the back, you can't touch it kind of thing, where it might be a copy of, Ringo Starr's Goodnight Vienna signed or something like that, and it's like £250. Good luck to whoever is going to pay that,
Yeah.
But can you take me through any of the highs and lows of the pre-internet McCartney collecting era? Like, did you go through catalogs? Did you have to meet a guy in a back alley in a long trench coat? How did it work?
Well, most of the McCartney albums were, unlike George, which were quite hard to find, some of the early George. The McCartney albums never really went out of print, so picked them up pretty quickly. I think the rarest one I have is the Thrillington album.
Okay.
I remember paying £50 for that back in the 80s, which was quite a lot of money back then.
Wow.
Since been released on new vinyl, but my original copy is much nicer. I didn't bother picking it up on new vinyl.
Yeah, the new ones are kind of see-through brown color or see-through red. It's a very strange vinyl. I do need to pick up Thrillington though. It's a shame I don't have it. Same with the Family Way as well. I'd love to find an original Family Way if they still exist. What's the most you've ever spent on an item though? How much were some of these signatures as well?
$200 on a George Harrison autograph. The self-titled album. Wow. That was back in 2002, and it's on my wall. And I'm not going to tell too many people that I'm not sure about it, but I don't know. I mean,
that's a nice one to have.
In 100 years' time, I'll let the story be known that I obtained it in person.
No, just pass it down like through the family. Oh yeah, he definitely got it in person, and then that'll just be perpetuated forever. There, we'll just have to.
Yeah, because I did meet George. Well, I did come across him very briefly outside Wembley Arena in '87. I was hanging out by the stage door trying to meet Dylan at a Dylan concert, and George Harrison and Jeff Lynne just walked up, got out of a Mini and walked up to the gate.
Oh, wow.
And I was speechless. First of all, I recognized Jeff Lynne because of his curly hair. And
the giant shades, yeah.
Hold on a minute, this is George Harrison with him. Unbelievable. And there was only about 5 of us by the gate. But he strode straight past me and through the gate. And I just said, like your new single, George. And he goes, oh, thanks. And I said, I'm glad you released Lay His Head on the B-side. That's an excellent track. And he said, oh, yeah, that was to save using up some of the new ones. And Jeff Lynne was looking back at me and grinning, thinking, there goes a real fan.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But no time for autograph or pictures. I mean, people didn't have mobile phones back in those days, so...
Oh, George would have hated mobile phone cameras. There'd be so many papo shots of him, like that.
I know, yes.
And he'd probably have a really out of touch song called like "Give Up Your iPhone," and it would be really bad. And he'd get mocked in Q for it or something like that. Have you ever had
on the song "Brainwashed"? He does mention mobile phones in his list of things that he hates. So I guess that was the early days of mobile phones, which George encountered before he passed.
I hate them. If they only had like a dark glass screen, then I'd love them. Yeah, he just didn't like the big blocky 90s, early 2000s phones. That was the issue. Yes. Have you ever had to clear out or have a purge of Beatles stock or McCartney stuff?
No, never. I mean, I actually sold a bunch of records the other day to a local record shop, but none of them were Beatles related. And I just got rid of some of the albums which are really kind of no sentimental value to me at all. And God knows why I picked them up in the first place. And I got a bit of cash for them. I was happy, paid for my beers that evening.
No, I mean, why do you need 6 different Bros albums just taking up space in your collection? It makes sense. I understand that. No, I've always dreaded giving up my Beatles stuff, and the idea of having to sell it would just be too much to bear. I think it really.
Well, I'm not sure if you mentioned it, but Andrew Brooks sold a whole lot of his Beatles stuff. I didn't watch your video yet. So did he talk about that?
He broke my heart. He did. He really broke my heart when he mentioned it, and the stuff that he got rid of as well.
I know.
Kept me up that night.
Press kits for Back to the Egg and stuff. Yeah, jeez.
He's got another one now, so at least he's got it back. But my gosh. Yeah. Fortunately, I don't have that much to really give away at this moment, but even what I do have, I really am quite attached to. Speaking of Budapest, though, what is the local record store scene like there? Is it quite active? Do you have many options, or are you mostly relying on imports?
There's about 4 or 5 shops in town. They're all in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been living here 25 years, and I only discovered these record shops 7 or 8 years ago. So for the first 17 years of living here, I thought there were no record shops in the whole of town. And I was so pleased to find them when I did. You can imagine, I went a bit crazy and
the record shop quarter, yeah. It sounds like a real cluster. Oh my gosh.
Disappointed ever since that they never get any new stock in, because I think I bought all their good stuff already.
You've cleared out Budapest of McCartney ephemera. That's a fun accolade to have. But what do you think of the kind of modern McCartney fandom in terms of product? Do you get behind getting 17 different copies of a new album, or are you kind of content with one copy and streaming?
Yeah, one copy and streaming is enough for me. I was a bit sickened by all that marketing for McCartney 3. I mean, and then the McCartney 3 Imagined is just beyond contempt as far as I'm concerned. I can't be bothered to listen to a covers version of an album which I wasn't particularly. I know you love it, Sam.
I love both albums. I love both. I've got the hat on, you know.
Oh. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'll just call me old-fashioned, but I'd much rather put on a Wings album than McCartney 3. But I know opinion is divided on that, so I just find some of the words very disappointing. Like, let's have a party tonight or whatever.
No, I found those. I mean, at least half of Egypt Station and most of McCartney 3 to be really quite enlivening. You know, a lot of it felt like he kind of tapped back into that youth. But again, you know, let me look at McCartney 3 in a couple of months, and we'll see where I fully stand with it. You know, one year on. But again, I've said this before here on the show. I do find it quite hard to not get swept up in at least getting 2 or 3 copies of an album. I like to think I'm doing my part for Paul. You know, we're all artificially helping him get to the number 1 spot. You know, it kind of feels like, you know, when like you're at school and there might be a kid who's not very popular, and like the teacher says, right, we're all going to be nice to Jimmy today, but we can't all tell him that we're being nice to him because that would defy the point. So we all want Paul to think he's getting to number 1, but we don't want him to know that he actually can't get to number 1. So we're all being extra nice and buying 3 or 4 copies of these albums. But
you know what pissed me off, Sam? I think he was so busy trying to get to number 1 in the UK that he forgot to ship the albums to countries like Hungary, because only 1 copy came into my local media mart, and my son picked it up, and I had to wait till 3 weeks ago before I bought my copy in one of the other stores here. But literally, you know, when the new AC/DC album came out, they had 10 copies of it, and when McCartney 3 came out, they had 1 copy, and that was it.
They had 1 copy. Wow. And is that going to be down to the store only ordering 1, or is it likely that that's all they could get?
A bit of both. They probably, I mean, AC/DC probably ships more copies in Hungary, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
They're one of these bands which are a bit like Led Zeppelin. They're very kind of, they transform across. You don't have to be a native English speaker, I think, to like that kind of music. So, but having said that, they're pretty good at stocking Bob Dylan here in Hungary, and he probably doesn't translate too well if you're Hungarian and not speaking English.
Yeah, one of the most quintessential American voices ever. How does he translate to Slovakian, you know, or to Russian? No, Metallica's very much like that, where like the further east you go, the more surprised you are by how currently still massive they are as well, and how much actual physical product they still shift as well. It's an interesting point you bring up there. I've never really considered that, the kind of UK American focused narrative of McCartney's success. You know, Is he still big in Japan? Is he still shifting, chopper like numbers in Russia? This is stuff I'd like to know. If anyone knows whether or has proof of Paul's sales in countries outside of the limited sphere I've just highlighted there, please do get in contact. paulmccartneypod@gmail.com. But yeah, let's move on to your attic today then, John. What have you been rummaging through? Have you dusted off some boxes? What have we got?
I've got three. I've got three which are McCartney related and two which are Beatles related, but not strictly McCartney. That's okay. So the first thing I'm going to show you is this.
Oh,
album.
Oh, I want that so much. I want one so much.
I don't know if you can see that, but it's signed on the back.
Oh my gosh.
And you think, where did you find this?
Where did you find this?
I found it in, I don't know, I've still got the inner sleeve and it says Denny Lane R UK £4. So I paid £4 for it.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember which shop it was, to be honest. I don't think it was at Exeter when I was at university. I think it was in London somewhere.
Fantastic. Have you played it? Does it sound okay? I mean, I've never even heard the music off the album,
It's all right. I mean, it's not an album I play very often. There was a track called Find a Way Somehow, which they did a demo of with Wings for London Town. I don't know if you've heard it. It's on one of those bootlegs.
Okay.
It's a kind of blues song. Find a Way Somehow. It's not bad. It's to be honest with you, he's done better. Japanese Tears was a better album. That's his. If you want to go to one Denny solo album, I would recommend that one.
I'm a big Holidays guy,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
It's fun. It's fun for what it is. But where did you meet Denny then? How'd you come across him?
That was with Andrew Brooks. We basically, he was on the pub circuit in London shortly after he announced bankruptcy. In December '86, I think it was. He did a gig in Wimbledon Theatre, and I lived in Wimbledon at the time, so that was very convenient. There were about 30 of us in the audience.
Wow.
In the whole of Wimbledon Theatre, if you can imagine.
Hello, Wimbledon!
We were occupying the front two rows. And then Denny said at the end of the gig, right, I'm off to the local pub. I'll see you there. And so we all followed him back to the pub and had 3 or 4 pints with him. And I had a picture taken with him, which I bloody lost. I had ages looking for it. And it's just gone. I can't believe I lost it. But the whole of that year, he was playing the Half Moon in Putney. There was a pub in the Oval he played. There was pubs in Fulham. So yeah, it was great. We even went down to the Sussex coast, I think, for one gig, and then we got there and we found out it had been cancelled. So we had to come back on the train. But,
it was a fun time to be Denny Lane post Wings. My gosh.
Yeah, we were all discussing, which Wings album was his favourite, and he said Band on the Run, and we were trying to argue for Back to the Egg in London Town, and it was good times. And he wouldn't play Wings stuff in his set lists, and we had to beg him. We said, Denny, just play Time to Hide. Just learn. It's not that difficult. And or Deliver Your Children. He eventually did that, but we could, and I think he might have done No Words. I can't remember, but we were struggling. And then we saw him at the Liverpool convention where he had a backing band and they used to do Venus and Mars and various Wings tracks, which is a bit fake really, because Denny was just playing along on guitar and wasn't singing any vocals.
Really? Well, that's very authentic Wings in some regards, I guess. Depends what you want, folks. I guess it depends what you want. But number one, a signed copy of Our Lane. We're starting off strong, folks. We're starting off strong. Let's keep it up. Number 2.
All right. So number 2 is, I'm going to, this thing is combined, but I'm going to show you the letter. It's a letter from MPL addressed to me saying, sorry, Paul McCartney cannot come to your leaving do because my friend Sean had invited him to my KPMG leaving do. And then Linda has signed it here.
Go veggie.
Go veggie, love Linda. So basically I went to the day after my leaving do, I went to Soho Square because I didn't have any work to go to because I was between jobs, and Paul's car was outside MPL. I could not believe my luck, and there was no one outside. I thought, this is brilliant. So I was just hanging around, waiting for Paul, and John Hamill came out, and he said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm waiting for Paul. And he said, he's not here. It's only Linda. And I said, can I wait for Linda? He goes, okay. So he went back, and then Linda came out on her own. I was the only one there. And the first thing she asked is, are you vegetarian? I said, no, I'm not actually. I could have lied, I suppose.
I would have lied, yeah. 100%.
And so she wrote, go veggie.
And
it was just great to meet
did
her
you
on
for
her
her?
Own, you know, I mean.
Oh no, carry on. Sorry, carry on.
Did I what?
I was gonna say, did you go veggie for her, for Linda?
Yeah.
For forever, and yeah, fully committed. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit weird when you finally do meet one of your heroes. You are a bit tongue-tied, you know, because you just want to tell them, you know, we'll talk about her backing vocals on Monkbury Moon Delight or Smile Away or something. But when it comes down to it, all you can do is thrust a piece of paper and get her to sign it, and you're kind of speechless, you know. That's why I didn't lie. If I was thinking a bit more, I would say, of course I'm vegetarian, and your sausages are superb. Because they are. I used to buy them. Even though I wasn't vegetarian, I used to buy Linda's sausages.
No.
Have you got her new book? Her book's just come out, hasn't it?
Oh, I do need to, just for the sake of completionism, I guess. You've just reminded me of a time when I met Michael Caine at a book signing, and like I was preparing to like say something really funny and witty and try and make him laugh, and then when I actually got to him, I was just like, "Hello, Mr. Caine," and then I just gave him my book to sign, and then that was it, and I just walked away embarrassed. I said nothing, and I was very upset with myself for the whole day. So I don't know what I'd do if I'd have met Linda or George. Or Jeff Lynne for that matter, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, a signed letter from Linda, and then are those two photos next to it of the occasion as well? Then, like,
well, that's when I met Paul, which is going to be in my number 3. So we can.
Oh well, let's pick up the frame again.
Yeah. So that, I don't know if you can see the glare there. There's 2 pictures.
Who is that handsome young man next to Paul there? Who could that be? Oh my God.
Asking, I mean, it was interesting. He was in a jacket and tie, and I was in my KPMG upholstery.
You look like you're on a film set together. Like you're in
we had to wear suits. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's in the bright daylight, and the third picture I have from the session makes it look as if it's nighttime.
You spent all day with him, and then you came out at night, and then my God, that or like a film premiere or something, you know.
You see the signatures there?
Oh wow, Paul McCartney.
So John, the pen broke down in the middle of the word John, so I had to get another pen in a panic.
Just Linda, snatching one from someone.
Linda has also signed it there. So.
Oh wow.
Oh God! I mean, I can't really describe the. Have you been to MPL in Soho Square?
I need to. I need to just book a day.
If
a
you're
day
standing
off work
outside,
yeah.
I mean, the problem is he's hardly ever in town these days. But back in the 80s, when Andrew and I used to be hanging, the MPL scruffs, he used to come into town pretty regularly. You know, we must have met him 3 or 4 times in the space of 6 months.
Oh, that's so annoying to hear that. That's so irksome.
And so if you're outside the offices, there's a flight of stairs coming towards the entrance. So So that my first view of Paul was him coming down the stairs, and I thought, hold on a minute, a Beatle is coming down the stairs, and he's going to come out the door, and I'm going to meet him. I can't even describe how exciting that was. I mean, I had a copy of London Town with me.
Oh my God!
So, and I was prepared to ask him, "What's your favorite track?" Which I did, and he said, "I'm not very good on favorite tracks." And I said, "Cafe on the Left Bank. Do you like that one?" He goes, "Yeah, that's a good one." That was it. That was it. Tongue-tied again, you know.
I could imagine you at home, like Travis Bickle in Taxi Driver, just in the mirror, being like, "Hey, Paul, what's your favorite song on Back to the Egg? Ooh, what's your favorite song? What's your favorite song on London Town?" Just preparing yourself, and it's making it perfect. And
I didn't actually know I was going to meet him that day, because what we used to do is go there every lunchtime, just hop on the tube, go up to Tottenham Court Road, and if he was, see if Paul was there, and then come back and go to work. But on this particular day, his car was there, so I thought, well, bugger this, I'm not going back to work. I'm just going to stay here. So I did.
Priorities, folks, priorities. I mean, if I had that option back then, like say if I went out on a break from my pub, and then I noticed McCartney's car was nearby, I'm not going to be in. You'll have to find someone to cover me. I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry, but this is happening. Take care. Bye. Yeah. No, I don't know. It's something that I've always thought of. Like, what if I had 30 seconds with Paul? What if I had 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes? What would I say? And it would always just come down to me trying to play it cool, and then probably end up coming off as more of a deranged fan than ever. Just asking the most obscure, inane questions in an attempt to ask him something interesting, and then finding out he's probably been asked all of those questions before, even the ones that don't make it onto the same 5 interview questions,
Yeah.
But
actually, the last time I saw him he was not in the office, so I was just walking back to the tube, and I had the copy of Beatles Monthly with me. And as I got to the end of Soho Street, which is the street between Oxford Street and Soho Square, a car pulled up to the lights, and I thought, well, hold on a minute, this is Paul's car. So, and it was, and Paul was sitting in the passenger seat. And so I waved at him through the window and showed him my Beatles Monthly, and he did his thumbs up, and then drove off. So that was pretty amazing.
Drive now, drive fast. It's green. Go.
One-on-one, no one else.
I would have jumped. I would have jumped on the hood.
Yeah.
On the side of the car, trying to stick your hand through the window. He's trying to wind it up quickly. My gosh.
Yeah, no, he didn't wind down the window. Man. And I think I was fairly polite, but I think I just waved, did the thumbs up, and I think I just moved on. I don't think I stood there staring until the traffic light went green. I may have done, but I don't think.
Just leaning in through the window, pushing your nose up against the glass, breathing.
Actually, my son Richie was at Abbey Road during his first year at university, and when Paul and Ringo were there for, was it Ringo's 80th or Abbey Road's 50th? I think it was Abbey Road's 50th. Sorry, they had a big party at Abbey Road, and the crowd, when Paul came out in his car, Richie was part of the crowd, and Paul wound his window down, and Richie said he actually touched Paul's fingers.
Oh my gosh.
Needless to say, he didn't wash for a week.
This luck runs in the family. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's the takeaway from this one. He touched Paul's fingers. I'll probably just cut my hand off, put it in formaldehyde.
I never shook his hand or touched him. I felt it was a bit of an intrusion on his privacy, to pat him on the back or try and shake his hand. But when I was at the front row of a Ringo gig in '92, during the middle of Your 16, I was dancing away in the front row, and Ringo came down to the front shook my hand, and we held hands for about 5 seconds, and he was dancing along with me. Just unbelievable.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Unbelievable.
Oh, that's the best thing ever. No, there's a really funny video that came out recently of like a woman who like the Pope's just shaking people's hands, and then the Pope shakes her hand, and she won't let go, and he literally just slaps her across the face, and I could imagine Ringo having to slug me pretty damn hard, or some huge member of security having to tackle me to the ground. I'm not letting go. I'm not letting go, Ringo. I'm not. Oh my God! How has everyone met some of these people? And but me. This show is only reinforcing that. Right, come on, time to make me jealous even more with item number 4 here.
Okay, well, the next one is Ringo related. So before I show it to you, I'll just tell you the story. So I kind of like to draw cartoons in my spare time. So I did a cartoon of me as a stickman meeting Ringo, and I tried to draw Ringo with his shades and big nose and all the rest of it. And I wrote this caption saying, "Great new album, Ringo, thanks. What's your favorite track?" That's a tricky one. Don't go where the road don't go. Golden blunders, runaways, I don't believe you, what goes around. I think I know the answer, says me. They're all brilliant. And Ringo says, you're right. And so I sent this off to him, and I sent 2 copies, and I said, keep the original, and please sign the photocopy and send it back to me. And sure enough, it arrived back at my parents' house in Wimbledon. And so here it is.
Great new album, Ringo. What's your favorite track? Oh my gosh, that they're all brilliant. You're right. Oh my gosh, and this is back when Ringo still signed stuff as well. This is
this was 1992,
the year I was born.
And I think it's fair to say most Beatles fans were pretty damn impressed with that album, Time Takes Time. It really was his best album for a long, long time. So I meant every word of that cartoon, and hopefully he appreciated it, because he did send it back to me. And then round about a few years before, when Andrew and I were trying to meet Ringo at his flat in Kensington, there was one time when Barbara Bach, his wife, was there, and so we met, and so I met her and asked her to sign the Ringo album. She said, "Well, I'm not even on it," and I said, "Yeah, but like you're Ringo's wife, you know." I think I said something like, "It's better than nothing to have your."
Oh, I hope it was worded better than that. I really do.
Well, I don't know. I think I said something pretty inappropriate, and then I quickly apologized, and she goes, "No problem." And she signed it Barbara Bach Starkey. I've got it down there. It's not one of my 5.
Barbara Bach, better than nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we'd heard on the grapevine that Ringo was not very approachable and didn't like you to go up to him and ask for an autograph. So what I did is I rang the doorbell. His secretary answered. I left a copy of Bad Boy, his solo album. In fact, I've got it on the wall here behind me. I can quickly show you. So it's nice signature there.
Oh wow! Yeah, perfect.
So basically, I left it with his secretary, and I said, "Can you get Ringo to sign it? I'll come and pick it up next week." And she said, "Yeah, okay." So and that's what happened. And
it was easy as that. That's
quite nice, that signature, because he actually signs his full name, Star. Sometimes, most of the time, he just Ringo, and then he does a star shape. But that one, it's the full signature, so that's pretty rare, actually. That one.
Oh, that's cool. Well, you've got both. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's cool. So that brings me on to my number 5. So there's a bit of a story to this one. There was a John Lennon exhibition of John Lennon prints in Budapest in 1998. So I just went along out of interest, thinking, what the hell is this exhibition? And it was for charity, and I think it was in aid of some hospital or some charity, I can't remember. And then I don't know, on the off chance, I think because the exhibition was in a gallery called Yoko Ono. I thought it's just really strange. A gallery is called Yoko Ono in Budapest. So I almost had intuition. So I took along a bunch of Yoko records with me to the exhibition. And at the exhibition, I saw Sam Havertoy, who was Yoko's partner at the time, who's a Hungarian-American guy. And I went up to Sam and said, is Yoko here in Budapest? And no, she flew back to New York on Sunday. And I said, oh, it's a pity because I had a bunch of her records. And he looked in the bag and says, oh my God, a Yoko Ono freak in Budapest. Tell you what, if you can get your company to buy one of these prints for charity, I think they were $1,500 a print, then you can come to lunch with Yoko in May when she's back here in Budapest. So I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a try. So I went to the charity director where I worked and said, we got any budget for this kind of thing? And he said, okay. So the company forked out $1,500. And then so I let Sam know that I kept my side of the bargain. And when he came back, he kept his side and rang me and said, come to dinner, come to our flat at 7 o'clock on Sunday evening. And I said, can I bring stuff for her to sign? He goes, bring anything you want. And so we went to her flat. I took most of my Lennon collection, all of my Yoko collection. I think I took the White Album. Spent 2 hours in her flat where she sat down on the sofa, on her white sofa, and signed every single one.
Oh my God.
So this is just one of the items she signed, which was Yoko Ono Plastic Ono Band. So John and Kathleen, that's my ex-wife, Love Yoko Budapest 98.
Look at that.
So
look at that.
And as she went through the albums, I said, you know, what my favorite track was, and you know, we came to sometime in New York City, and I said, Sisters Oh Sisters is great, and she says, yeah, Phil Spector really helped me on that track, and so we spent 2 hours in the flat, and I was kept supplied with as much beer as I could drink, which was obviously brilliant as well. And then after 2 hours, Sam said, well, let's go across the road to have something to eat. So we went to the local restaurant and spent another 2 hours. So we're talking 4 hours of, I think it was 95% of me speaking to Yoko. My ex-wife had to speak to Sam because there's no way I was letting her get a word in edgeways.
A word in you have nothing to say here right now.
Well, she didn't, you know. The second time I got to go to dinner with Yoko, my ex-wife, well, wife at the time, said, no, I don't want to come. You go on your own. So and she said something like, I don't want to spend a Friday night in the company of strangers. Oh, okay, you stay at home, I'm going. And that was another 3 or 4 hours. And she was great. I asked her everything under the sun. And at one stage, I told her that I thought Paul McCartney was every bit as talented as John Lennon, which I think not a lot of people actually tell her that, even if they think it.
Yeah, ballsy. I like it. I like it.
And she said, it's very interesting to meet you.
You can imagine exactly how she said it as well. That's so funny. So that's very good value for money, though. I think $1,500 of someone else's money, and you get about 7 hours with Yoko Ono. That's
yeah.
I'm certain your company was eager to have a favor banked in the pocket when they need it from that point onwards. Oh, John, remember that time?
Well, I think when Andrew Brooks met Yoko outside of Abbey Road later that year, he said, oh, you remember my friend John, you had dinner with in Budapest? And Yoko smiled and said, yeah. So
I guess that's the best. That's the best part of the story there.
Yeah. I like to think to this day she would remember me, because I don't think there was too many people who were that frank with her, and you know, and had all her records as well.
Mhm.
I mean, I had, Approximately Infinite Universe, Fly, Feeling the Space, Star Piece, Season of Glass, Plastic Band, Sometime New York City,
Yeah.
Mind Games, Imagine. She signed them all. Double Fantasy. I mean,
Jesus.
So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't love everything Yoko's done musically,
Mhm.
but I think when she's accessible in the 70s, she was quite good. I just didn't care for her avant-garde stuff. But
I'm definitely going to have to check out some Yoko stuff. She's a real blank spot in my back catalogue at the moment. But I think the fact that you took all of her albums rather than just say taking a couple of John albums and the White Album, I think that was for her proof that you knew your stuff, so you probably could be as frank as you were. It's still ballsy though. I really enjoy that you would do that. Like, I don't think I'd ever have the heart to say to Paul, like, I'm not a particular fan of this and that. Like, I don't think I could. I couldn't even pick an example in the hypothetical then, in case he's listening now. I'd be too tempted to be completely sycophantic. I really would. But
well, I was sycophantic.
I
was sycophantic towards all of them. I said I love George Harrison. I love Ringo Starr. And when Beatles bicker with each other in public, we fans, we're part of the family and we get hurt. We don't like it when you bicker, which is true. I've never liked it when Paul and George slagging each other off in public or whatever it was.
It feels like your parents are fighting, and like it triggers those childlike emotions. Being like, everyone, just calm down, please. You're breaking this family apart. We want to have a nice Christmas.
Yeah.
Come on now, folks. But John, again, you are able to make me completely jealous, not only with your stories now, but the items in your attic collection as well. So many autographs there, and the fact that they're all verified as well and they're real and they're not part of your sordid eBay collection of mismatched misanthropy is is pretty incredible. You're a very lucky man.
Show you any of the eBay ones.
No, I mean that's more fun though, Oh. Right.
Excellent. I better run. So it's been great, and
Awesome.
Thanks for having me. And
Excellent.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, folks, thank you very much for watching another episode of Macca in Your Attic. I've been Sam Wells. This has been John Heaton. John, all of your links will be down below in the description. I'm sure we'll have you back on here or on Paul and I think at some point in the future. Peace and love, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers. See you. Bye.